Why is the adoption so low? Let me go back to my two populations in the business, the consumers and the producers. I think that we have done a very good job of making BI tools easy to use. I think we have. We've focused on that for 25 years, making them easy to use. You can drop this over here, you can pull this over there, and all that kind of stuff. What we haven't focused on is making the information easy to consume. We are now getting into data visualization land, and oh gosh, isn't that beautiful? But again, for someone to understand what a chord chart is, or some of these heat map, whatever it is, they're very difficult, and they're pretty. They look really pretty. But if you show that to a typical CEO, his eyes are going to glaze over, right? I don't know what this chord thing is with the things going all over the place. I don't understand that. So I think we still have a gap between the ability to understand the information and those that produce it. So that's probably the first thing. In most organizations, producers are about 20%, maybe less. In some, they're only 10% of the population that's even interested in analytics. So that's a problem. We still haven't quite gotten to the point where it's consumable. The other thing is relevance. Again, we're getting a little too enamored, I think, with data visualization, a little too enamored with the pretty charts, and not enough focus on interpretation of what does that mean to the CEO. When I show him that, I have to tell that person a story. Here's what it means to the company, to our marketplace, to our products, to our customers. It's not just a pretty visualization. It's something that's meaningful. And oh, by the way, it's not good. And if it's not good, what are you going to do about it, right? So I think we still have a long way to go before we've made this information consumable, easy to understand, easy to wrap your head around, and then do something with it. That's been the part, we've always talked about BI without the ability to act on it is kind of worthless, right? I think we're still struggling with that situation of, gee, I can show you something, but I can't tell you what to do with it, right? And that's the problem. So to get that more in the organization, we've got to be able to truly embed BI into our operational processes so that somebody can look at something, figure out, understand what it means, and then act on it. Not have to go out of that application and go into something else or go to somebody else, whatever it is, be able to act on it in place.
And I'll add my thought here as well. I think good business intelligence is hard. It's multidisciplinary, and it's also a moving target. It's dynamic. So you may implement something, and after you implement a solution, even a great solution, utilization will go up for a period of time, and then it starts dropping off, right? Because you're never actually done. It's a living and breathing thing. And unless you're willing to commit the resources to keeping it alive and relevant to the business, it'll end up failing. That said, we see penetration going up year after year. So the market is a much larger market because there are more users that are getting touched by business intelligence now more than ever. However, it's not nearly as far as I would have thought we would be 25 years or 26 years after I started in this business. That's fair.
I mean, I think they've been asking this question about adoption rates for quite a few years on the BI side. They can't understand why people are not using the systems, and and users fall back on Excel. If anything is too hard, it's easier to use Excel, which is kind of a sad indictment, really, because Excel wasn't designed for BI. But I've seen cases where it's the fact that the data isn't the right data, or the data is oriented in the BI system, it doesn't answer the business question that they want to answer, or it's too slow, it takes too long to get an answer out of the BI system. So various reasons like that, then people will then go, okay, I'm going to do it another way, I'm going to dump it out in CSV, put it in Excel, and those sort of things, as you say, that the interface is maybe too hard. I mean, I forgot my razor this trip, so I went down to CVS, and I was stood there like, do I queue up or do I go in the self-service? And I'm like, I'd rather wait than go deal with that self-service. So obviously the UI is actually not been designed that well. It's not really self-service. Self-service for somebody who actually works in a checkout maybe, but not self-service for me. So I think that if there's ever a situation like that, then you're not going to use the BI system because it's like, oh, you know, it's too hard, so I'm going to use something else or find another way to get it done. And I think that's part of the problem. And I think, you know, so I do think there's room for more and better approaches to this.